entertainment, education, 80s cheese, and of course, dinosaurs. Throw in a ton of passion for all of the above, and you get the TV movies Dinosaurs, 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 and more dinosaurs created by Midwich Entertainment in the year 1985. Midwich Entertainment was a small production company out of California that originated in 1985 and produced such TV movies as More Dinosaurs, 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 as well as Prehistoric World, The Volcano Show, and Son of Dinosaurs, plus a few others we'll talk about in this mini-series. These other TV movies were included with the DVD versions of More Dinosaurs and Dinosaurs, Dinosaurs, Dinosaurs. All of these movies star Gary Owens and Eric Boardman as they guide us through the world of dinosaurs, the prehistoric era, and other natural phenomena of our planet. Gary Owens had a long and illustrious career as a radio and TV show announcer until his death in 2015.
You're probably saying, that's pure Hollywood fantasy, right? Well, maybe not. Some scientists believe that Hollywood may not have been that far off.
He was in the 1966 Batman show starring Adam West.
Week after week, the Cape Crusader copes with the tricky traps of vicious villains.
And he was actually the original Space Ghost. Eric Boardman, other than in these TV movies, didn't appear to have done much in the way of acting, other than maybe some small features here and there. This was the biggest thing he was in by far. There were other guest stars that appeared, but we'll touch on these as we go in this mini-series. When you look at these DVDs, especially Dinosaurs, 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 what probably stands out is the unique cover art. Both of the covers, Red Rex and Old Spinosaurus, were created by William Stout. Every one of these TV movies was produced by Richard Jones, with the music for all of these movies composed by David Spear. It also bears mentioning that the crew, the Kyoto brothers, who worked on the special effects for the dinosaur TV movies we're going to discuss, did the claymation for Large Marge and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, and they also worked on UHF. With all of the introduction and the behind the scenes covered, let's take our dive into the first of 6 TV movie specials that I will be covering in this mini-series. Dinosaurs, Dinosaurs, Dinosaurs. We start off with what I imagine is a fan shout-out because I couldn't find anything out there on this person. They will always have this.
Way to go, Alex.
Our first shot is of Eric Boardman walking into frame as he's trying to find Gary Owens.
You seen Gary Owens?
We get our first star appearance in Frank Nelson, who inspired this Simpsons character.
Really?
Eric asks Frank if he's seen Gary. Frank tells him no, but that he has a note from Gary. Eric heads to the elevator, where the elevator attendant is doing a whole Flintstones bit.
Next stop, basement level, storage for Allosaurus arm bones, Brachiosaurus backbones, Camptosaur craniums, Stegosaurus sternums, Tyrannosaurus tibia.
Thank you.
Eric finally runs into Gary when he pulls him into the cluttered, dark back rooms of the museum. Gary proceeds to drop some heavy news on Eric.
I'm turning into a dinosaur.
He even shows him his sick new arm sleeve to prove it. According to this
Ancient book on dinosaur folklore. This transformation can only be stopped by the waters from the Crystal Palace.
Gary gives Eric a bottle to collect the water, and he also hands him a ticket to London. But there's no time to waste because it's time for the show to start.
Hi, I'm Gary Owen.
And I'm Eric Boardman.
The music to go along with the title card and animation provides a jazzy audio with unique visuals. And it sounds like Weather Report, actually. Intros in this style don't happen in movies and TV anymore.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like if dinosaurs were part of our modern world?
We then cut to a contrasting shot of Albuquerque, New Mexico for a celebration to erect a full-size bronze Pentaceratops sculpture in front of the New Mexico Museum of Natural History. Just ask paleontologist Everett Olson why people love dinosaurs.
Loves dinosaurs. They attract people for reasons. When we got the extinction hypothesis, nobody said the clams died out, or the lizards died out, or this died out. They said the dinosaurs died out.
Yeah, we're not talking about lizards or clams. We're talking dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, dinosaurs, dinosaurs. After this, we get a change of setting with Eric again walking into frame. On this occasion, he's standing in front of the bones of a duck-billed dinosaur that was alive 80 million years ago. He informs us that interest in dinosaurs has never been greater, thanks to scientific discoveries and pop culture. Cue the serving of 80s cheese.
Let me take you on a tour of the world of dinosaurs. Now I'd like you to meet some of my favorite dinosaurs, and I hope some of yours.
Following the comic book transition, we get some awesome video of these dinosaur animatronics. There's a Corythosaurus, which is similar in nature to what the bones we saw right before this in the other room were.
Let's hear your mating call.
In addition, we see a Stegosaurus, an Apatosaurus, similar to a Brontosaurus, a Triceratops, the jaws of which Eric informs us on.
These jaws were the most powerful jaws in the history of the world. They could eat through anything.
He goes on to tell us in this segment that this Triceratops model was made by Dynamation International. They actually do have a Facebook page with 2.3k followers, and the most recent update was from late April of this year. When you click the link, it takes you to this video, which has just over 400 views and was uploaded almost 3 years ago. The footage looks even older than that. Eric says this exhibit will go on tour soon, so it's safe to assume that all of the other models in this scene were made by Dynamation as well. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I almost forgot to show what Eric calls
The world's #1 favorite dinosaur. Tyrannosaurus Rex.
He goes on to tell us
These forelimbs, which may look like fighting claws, probably really weren't. Scientists speculate that these arms were used to lift the dinosaur up off the ground after he'd slept.
which to me personally is a little hard to picture, at least with the dimensions this model has. From the research I did for this video, I've seen quite a few different claims on the practical use, function, or even strength of the T-Rex's arms. For example, this article by Jonathan Shipley, dated April 29th of this year, states that the reason the T-Rex may have had such short arms possibly could have been to prevent self-inflicted injury or even dismemberment due to biting and thrashing of the T-Rex's jaws during altercations. I feel that the true purpose/function of T-Rex's arms is too ambiguous of a topic for us to ever know the true answer on, at least short of a few fantastic scientific discoveries. Our next scene is set in western Colorado in the Dry Mesa Quarry near Delta. There, we learn about paleontologist Jim Jensen and how he made literal huge discoveries there, such as in 1979 when he found an 8-foot-long shoulder blade and later on stumbled upon a 9-foot leg bone. He went on to create a model of a leg from a dinosaur known as Ultrasaurus. Jensen estimated that the colossal dino possibly stood as tall as 55 feet and could have weighed as much as 80 tons. From what I've researched when it comes to biggest dinosaur bones ever found / largest dinosaurs ever unearthed, as well as the largest land creatures ever, we're always finding bigger and bigger dinosaur bones, but whether it's an Ultrasaurus, Argentinosaurus, a Patagotitan, a Titanosaurus, Brachiosaurus, or Brontosaurus, they all fall under being sauropods. Let me channel my inner chubby emu and break this one down. The word sauropods coming from the Greek derivative sauropoda, sauro meaning lizard, pod or poda meaning foot or footed, sometimes even referred to as lizard-hipped. In other words, the largest dinosaurs ever to walk on land were all sauropods. If we ever discovered anything this large that wasn't a sauropod, it would be a miraculous discovery. Now this next section could be the subject of its own video. Southern California, in the town of Cabazon. Off the freeway is where we'll find the giant dinosaur sculptures Denny the Brontosaurus. Before I proceed any further in the video, during the editing process, I realized that according to the Fallout wiki on fandom.com, the Brontosaurus' name is Diny the dinosaur, not Denny the dinosaur. I didn't realize this until now, so just pretend I'm saying Diny. And Mr. Rex, made by Claude Bell, the Dinosaur Man. These works of art reside here at this roadside attraction and still do to this day from what I've researched, or as of 2021. Denny, the Brontosaurus, also functions as a gift and souvenir shop. If this location looks familiar to you, you may have seen it parodied in Fallout New Vegas in the form of Dinky the T-Rex. Dinky is not a Brontosaurus like Denny, his real-life counterpart, but they both have a souvenir shop inside. This real-life location is even mentioned on the Fallout wiki on fandom.com. These sculptures and the Wheel Inn restaurant, both owned by Claude Bell at the time, were prominently featured on Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I wonder how many times workers of the restaurant had to hear this line.
Large Marge sent me.
Both the restaurant and the dinos were in the music video for Tears for Fears song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Estimations from Dinosaurs Dinosaurs Dinosaurs, as well as RoadsideAmerica.com, say it took Claude 11 to 15 years to build his first project, Denny. Mr. Rex took 5 years plus to build, and according to this article from RoadsideAmerica.com, Claude passed away at age 91 while still continuing working on the sculpture. Although he may have moved on from this world, the dinosaur sculptures Claude created have a unique longevity and charm, and was even featured in a few pop culture hits. At the end of the day though, I just think he made these for his own happiness, as well as sharing that happiness with others.
Do something that you like. Now, dinosaurs, people really don't know them right. They're wild, and I don't know, there's a fascination about them. And how they disappeared, nobody knows.
According to RoadsideAmerica.com, as well as other numerous sources, after the land was sold to a developer, Gary Cantor, in 2005, he used Denny the dinosaur to sell creationist souvenirs. Now, more than a few articles out there reference a Pastor Robert Darwin Childs. Firstly, the name Robert Darwin Childs is a play on Charles Robert Darwin, made famous by his contributions in evolutionary biology. A Google search will quickly lead you to an information loop where the only places this name is found at all being these very articles regurgitating this false information. Gary Cantor actually is a real estate developer who owned or still owns the Cabazon Dinosaurs. It really did sell creationist memorabilia, as evidenced by these Yelp reviews. But there was definitely never anyone named Robert Darwin Childs who was involved in the project. Whoever made this line just couldn't resist sensationalizing an already interesting story. This went on for about 10 years until it was, what I assume, sold to another developer. I couldn't find any other information on who owns it now. Even later than this, in December 2016, the Wheel Inn was finally demolished after 30 plus years. But the dinosaurs remain. Moving on in the special, touching on the last thing Claude Bell said,
And how they disappeared, nobody knows.
Eric sits down with George Callison, a paleontologist, to ask what he thinks.
What's your theory of why the dinosaurs are extinct?
There must have just been a terrible accident, admirably suited animals that had a long history of existence. And one of the most provocative is that of having an asteroid collide with the Earth, creating a nuclear winter.
Jim Madsen explains why he studies dinosaurs.
Why study dinosaurs, if for no other reason to find out why they were so successful? I mean, you can't just dismiss an animal or a group of animals that may have been successful for as much as 200 million years.
Then we move to this.
What if dinosaurs did survive? What would they be like today?
Many kinds of dinosaurs that would look quite oddly familiar to us if they were alive today. I suspect, and this hasn't been quantified, that there are regularities in the evolution of multicellular creatures that tend to select for an end product that is recognizable because it's useful biologically.
After all this, we move to London, where we see Eric talking to Gary via this phone booth. If you're younger than 20, a phone booth is a little tiny room on the street where they had a phone inside that you paid money to place a call. They had commercials with a mediocre prop comic and a C-list celebrity with terrible jewelry. These were dark times. A shot of Eric in front of the Tower Bridge. We go on to talk about Gorgo, the 1961 movie. And then it's on to the British Museum of Natural History with Dr. Angela Miller. We see what Dr. Miller calls one of the largest triceratops found at the time. Eric points out an iguanodon skeleton, which Miller says is
the very first dinosaur ever to be discovered in the last century.
We also see what Dr. Miller claims is the first dinosaur-like fossil ever found, and I doubt that it really was. It was just the first one with record keeping, I think. For a change, we see Gary for the first time since before the main title card.
You seen Gary Owens?
He shows us the most recent dinosaur discovery at the time, which is a Dimetrodon. Segue to Arizona's petrified forest and paleontologist Rob Long. Rob had found a previously unknown dinosaur, and the rocks the bones were contained in were dated around 225 million years old. Scientists aided Rob in the effort to
help carefully isolate the earth and rock containing the bones. Then they coated it with a protective plaster shell so they could take it back to the university at Berkeley and remove the bones under laboratory conditions.
Rob then showed off the new dinosaur, which we didn't get the name of. If you do know this dinosaur, let me know in the comments. Next, we're shown some rather unique and interesting dinosaur art pieces made by Jim Gary.
As a youngster, I used to build my own cars, and from that I used to see the shapes of the parts remind me of animals, so I just started building dinosaurs out of them.
He made a 37-foot long, 1.5-ton brontosaurus made entirely of automobile parts.
The head is made of oil pans, neck is drive shaft, the legs are control arms, the lower control arms, and the feet are brake shoes.
We're then shown his pinkish purple pterodon that has a wingspan of 14 feet. This stuff is cool art that repurposes, and the pterodon is pretty rockin'. After some corny Queensguard jokes from Eric, we change setting to Gary walking in from the right. He's here in the Frank Sinatra outfit to point out to us that this is a mosasaur, as well as to let us know that Pangea was a thing, because we're trilobites from the Cambrian period who don't know any better. Eric has finally arrived here at the Crystal Palace Park, more specifically at the dinosaur attractions section of the park. The dinosaur sculptures were some of the very first in the world and were publicly unveiled in 1854, according to Wikipedia. I think these goofy things are kind of cute and neat, honestly. They just have a charm to them. Eric scoops up some of that Crystal Palace water in the bottle for Gary's cure and heads back to the museum to find Gary. There, Gary Owens informed Eric that he thinks it's too late.
Let's see what we're dealing with.
Okay, but get a grip on yourself. Ta-da!
This Garyosaurus was created by the Kyoto brothers, who, as I mentioned earlier, made the Large Marge claymation. We get some cheesy jokes not worth repeating. Eric tells Garyosaurus that he's going to be a big thing. Garyosaurus doesn't want to, though, because of the
probing,
which, teach their own, Garyosaurus. A little probing can be good for you. Now we're on the doorstep of what is maybe the cheesiest ending to any piece of media I've ever seen. We get an ending montage of the dinosaur animatronics from earlier, with the claymation Garyosaurus being the last one shown. If I had to witness this, you do too.
Well, it's a living.
And that, my friends, was Dinosaurs 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 with Eric Boardman and Gary Owens. A rare piece of 80s educational entertainment. One that had a passion for its subject material and the drive to entertain and educate. There's so much about the dinosaurs that we don't know and that we may never actually know. They're almost like cryptids, but more tangible, concrete, and less paranormal. But the fact that we don't know many things for certain about them ensures that they will be filling us with wonder for generations to come. Thank you so much for watching. This video is the first in a 6-part mini series that I'm doing on these DVDs, Dinosaurs, 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 as well as more dinosaurs. I have 5 more TV specials to cover, and I hope to do them back to back to back here. Some of these include the Volcano Show and Prehistoric World. So subscribe if you want to stay tuned for when I release those ones. Thanks again for watching. Science is cool, and I'll see you in the next video.